the thing is that as Muslims, we tend to have a worldview uh, about certain things. And I think as Muslims, even as non-Muslims, people have a worldview about things that they believe in. Like, for example, if a person says that, I don't think there is a point in doing good deeds nowadays, because you see, everybody is just looking out for themselves. It's a dog eat dog world. Everybody is, like going after their own thing. So I don't think in today's day and age, uh, people have to be kind hearted or people have to be just to one another. Rather, this is the law of the jungle and it's survival of the fittest. So basically, you get what you get. So you just go after what you want to have, and inshallah, that's the way life is supposed to be. So if that's the kind of worldview that a person has, then that automatically means that this person is going to stay away from good deeds himself. Because this person believes that it is pointless to do good deeds in this day and age, because he believes that it's a law of the jungle and it's survival of the fittest. And so if you've got the might, go ahead and exert it and take care of your own situations, basically. So if that's your worldview, then obviously that's going to take you away from the Islamic worldview, which teaches us compassion and mercy towards other people. Likewise, somebody could have a worldview like I used to have at one point in time. My philosophy in life used to be, maybe over about 10 years ago, was that you only live once. You might have heard the slogan, it's called YOLO. So you only live once. That, in fact, is also a world philosophy. That also is a worldview. So I believe that, life, you only get it once. And so right now is your time to enjoy it, to celebrate it, to have fun, to indulge in your desires, basically enjoying life to the maximum. That's what I thought the purpose of life was. Now imagine if a person has that type of worldview, how is his or her life going to be? As far as I was concerned, I was traveling around the world. I was doing my education from the UK. Then I went to Australia. I did my master's degree from there. And in between, I was experimenting with life. So for example, I tried my hand with skydiving, really enjoyed that. Then I did bungee jumping in South Africa from the highest bridge in the world, which is known as the Blowkrans Bridge. And that was an exhilarating experience. Then I traveled to the Maldives Islands to go scuba diving. And in the middle of all of this, I was just having fun, chilling out, enjoying life. Because my philosophy was, my worldview was that you only live once. Once you die, who knows? Once you die, you die. And maybe worms will eat you, your body will decay and rot, and that's pretty much it. Although I was born into a Muslim family, but for all practical purposes, I didn't have the Islamic worldview. I didn't have the Muslim worldview. I didn't look at life from the Muslim lens. Rather, I looked at life from my own lens, which was that, you only live once. And so life is all about having this constant need for entertainment and just trying to fulfill your desires. That's what life is. And so this is a very selfish kind of lifestyle. It was later on when I studied this ayah from the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that كَيْفَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا فَأَحْيَاكُمْ ثُمَّ يُمِيتُكُمْ ثُمَّ يُحْيِيكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. That how can you disbelieve in Allah when you were dead and He gave you life? Then He will cause you to die and He will give you life again, and to Him you have to return. So I realized upon reading Surah Al-Baqarah that you don't live once, you actually live twice. The first time you get a chance at life is this life, which is very, very short. And the next time, once you die, kullu nafsin zaiqatul maut. Once you die, then after that you are resurrected, and that life is going to be eternal. That life is going to be never ending, absolute. And so what is the comparison of an infinite life with a life, even if it's 100 years? Although not many people get to live to see 100 years. But even if, let's say, we give them the benefit of the doubt and give them 100 years, what is the comparison between 100 years and infinity? The honest truth is there is no comparison. So we as Muslims believe that the life of this world is very short. This is a testing ground. And the afterlife is your real life, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. They will abide therein forever. So when you look at it from that perspective, you realize that as you sow, so shall you reap. What goes around, comes around. So then your philosophy and your worldview changes. So my worldview changed from YOLO to yolt. You only live twice. And so when that worldview changed and my software got upgraded, the reason why I'm calling it software is because your worldview, your philosophy in life is your software, and your hardware, your body basically, works as per the instructions of the software. So whatever your philosophy in life is, your deeds become a reflection of that. So it's from the hidden realm of your heart and your mind where your actions emerge from. So it's from this hidden realm, your philosophy in life, your worldview in life. That basically drives your actions. That basically motivates you to do certain things or not to do certain things. So when my worldview was you only live once, my life was very, very different. But as soon as my worldview changed, my philosophy in life changed, automatically my behavior changed. For those of you who don't know, a few years ago, I wasn't a practicing Muslim by any stretch of the imagination. I was just enjoying my life. As I mentioned earlier, I was doing my own thing. I mean, Islam, religion, prayer, fasting, all of these things were almost alien to me because I didn't think that they were anything worth investing your time on. I didn't think that they were important. I just thought that my worldview is to have fun and enjoy life and to earn a good salary, live a good lifestyle in the life of this world. And that's pretty much all life is all about. And if you think about it, that's what most people are doing nowadays. Most people are in pursuit of happiness in this life. Very few are actually concerned about their afterlife. And this is apparent from the way people behave, from the way people walk, talk, act, all of these things. One of my Quran teachers, when I was learning the deen, he once said to me that when you really start to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you start to believe in the day of judgment, from that day onwards, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you act with other people, it's all going to change. Because before that, you could claim to be a believer in God. You could claim to be a believer in the day of judgment. You could claim to be many things. But as they say, talk is cheap. So anybody can say anything. I could tell you that I'm a rocket scientist, but that doesn't make me one. I have to show you certain credentials. Imagine if like a butcher walked in here, all with the knife and everything, and he's got his apron on and it's blood stained. And he says to you that, hello, I'm a surgeon. I'm a cardiologist. Are you going to simply believe him because he said something? No, of course not. We need to see some credentials. So the thing is, if you claim to be Muslim, if you claim that Allah is one, and He's the eternal and the absolute, He is the most forgiving, the most merciful, and He is the owner of the day of judgment. If you believe that, then certainly your actions should reflect that. If you believe that the day of judgment is real, then certainly your actions should reflect that. If I say to you, for example, here we have a glass of water, okay? So imagine if this is not a glass of water, this is instead a flame. So imagine I'm looking at a flame right now, okay? And if I tell you that I believe that this is fire and it will burn me, I believe from the depth of my heart that this is fire and it will burn me. And imagine that this is in fact fire. Now, after telling you that this is fire and I believe that it will burn me, I still go ahead and touch it. Then two things can be said about me. Either you could say that the man is mentally unstable, the man is mentally handicapped, because he said something and he did the exact opposite of that. So maybe he's not sane. That's the first opinion you could have about me. Or you could say that he didn't really believe what he was saying. He said that this is fire and it will burn me, but then why on earth did he touch the fire in the first place? So you would have to say that either he was insane or that he didn't believe what he was saying. Oftentimes, my dear brothers and sisters, what happens is that we make these really big claims about Allah, about Rasulullah, about the day of judgment. But when we look at our actions, they seem to be contrary to that. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness over all things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. We have angels on our shoulders that are recording our deeds all the time. So when we act differently from how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to behave, then it begs the question that why did we do that in fact? Why did we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we claim to be Muslim?